Hey guys, it's Kris from Green Notes Co. And today I'm here with the cannabis blogger, photographer, and translator. And we're going to welcome you to our medical cannabis patient interview series. It's the first one. We're super excited to be filming together. And this is basically going to be a series of us interviewing cannabis patients. Okay, so we'll get started.
Yeah.
So if you feel comfortable, please tell us a little bit more about your patient journey and so like what you're treating and how did you first decide to use cannabis as a treatment?
I never really touched cannabis until about 2 or 3 years ago when I lost my mobility. So I was diagnosed with something called ankylosing spondylitis. So it's an autoimmune disease, or it's a form of arthritis that attacks your spine. So much like rheumatoid arthritis, I have to take a drug that's an immunosuppressant. I was on a morphine patch, which delivers morphine every hour into your body.
Wow.
I was on 30 pills a day, on a bunch of medication. And anyways, I was really unhealthy. At some point, Sean, my amazing partner and boyfriend, who's also an amazing photographer, yeah, he taught me everything I know. So yeah, he's amazing. Anyways, so he's been using cannabis medically as well for quite some time, and he suggested I take a puff of a joint. And I was really against cannabis when I met him, so it's kind of a weird transition. And then I did take a puff because that night I couldn't walk. I was on the couch, really in a lot of pain, a lot of nerve pain. And 5 minutes later, I was dancing in the living room.
Wow.
So
What a
that,
change.
yeah.
So you said you've been using cannabis for a while now.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to find something that worked for you, like the right dosage, the right method of intake? You said now you're taking CBD, so
Yeah.
how long did it take you to figure that out?
It took me a pretty long time, I would say. Experimenting with strains took a long time because I hadn't been in a market, right? I just entered the market, and it was my first time, trying cannabis, for medical reasons, and I was trying to treat some ailments that I had. For example, I still have nerve pain on occasion, but I wanted a strain that would help with my nerve pain because I was taking gabapentin, which is for nerve pain, and I was on 1,800 milligrams 3 times a day.
That sounds like a lot.
That's a lot of pills, and it's like, yeah. Anyways, so yeah, I had to find a strain for that, and then I wanted to find a strain for my inflammation, and then I wanted to find something to sleep because I was taking sleeping pills because all this medication that I was on was making me not sleep, so they just add on more medication.
Yeah.
So and I really found my favorite thing about cannabis right now is oils. I take oils on a daily basis, and it's very discreet. I mean, it's like a little dropper. So I take that when I wake up. I take a 1-to-1 oil, so it has the same amount of THC, same amount of CBD in 1 milliliter. Mm-hmm. And then I also take a CBD oil throughout the day. And if I need help concentrating, if I have a lot of anxiety, I'll also use this sativa oil, and then an indica oil for bedtime. And then I supplement with either smoking flower or edibles, topicals, and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So from patient experience, what would you recommend to someone who's considering trying cannabis medically or trying cannabis for the first time?
First of all, I have to say cannabis is not for everyone.
Yeah.
That's very important. The other thing I would say is do a lot of research.
Yeah.
If you're dealing with migraines, Google migraines and cannabis, migraines and CBD, because migraines, like CBD is really effective for migraines. So
how else, you've talked a little bit about like your regimen, things like that. How else do you supplement your treatment? Like, do you do any activities? What's your overall wellness strategy?
Well, when I lost my mobility, it was really difficult because I was an athlete. Recently, and with the help of cannabis, I have to say, I've been getting into hot yoga.
Cool.
And it's really nice because it helps my muscles relax. Going on walks on the beach with my dog just recenters me. It just really clears my mind. I think it's a form of meditation too, because I like to go by myself and just enjoy the sound of the waves, watch the sunset, and it's only like a 20-minute drive from home, so
That's awesome.
I mean,
That
why
sounds-
would you not? Yeah, I like to go
Sounds
at least once a
amazing.
week. Yeah, it's pretty nice.
That's awesome. So, what's your favorite strain?
Oh my god, that's a different question. Okay, I'll go with my favorite strain of the moment. It's called Romulan. I don't know if you've ever tried it.
No, I haven't.
So
Unless
it's
that's what you brought today.
no, it's not. Romulan is basically gives you a nice body high, but also a creative high. So it's very rare that you have strains that do both, and it's
Yeah.
great for me because it helps my body pain and also my creativity. So I really, really like it. And then if we're talking more like medically, I would have to say right now I'm really into this strain from my licensed producer, Organigram. Well, I mixed two of them together. One of them is called Baleen, and it's a high CBD strain. So I think it has like 10 or 11% CBD with 6% THC, so like a very good ratio.
Wow, yeah.
And then the other one I mix is a sativa called Acadia. So it just gives me like the calmness with the CBD, and the pain relief with the CBD as well, but also the uplifting of the sativa that I love. Yeah. So those are I guess my favorites. Oh, and I have to mention one other strain from my licensed producer, Peace Naturals. It's called Happy Feet. If you have
That's
nerve
cute.
pain, no, it's crazy. If you have nerve pain, try this strain. It's crazy. You take 1 or 2 puffs, and then within minutes, it's like instead of having nerve pain, it's like a nice little buzzing feeling in your legs. And I don't know if you've had nerve pain before, but it's
I'm sure
it's
very
terrible.
awful.
It's the worst pain of life. So to find something that can treat that was really empowering for me. Yeah.
So you're part of, like, I guess you said Organigram and Peace Naturals as an LP. What's your process been like with doctors, licensed producers? Can you tell us a little bit more about that? And
I have mixed emotions about the process. First of all, it's hard. A lot of doctors have stigmas and judgment against it, although there is a lot of research. I was lucky to have a really, really great doctor here in Ontario that believed in cannabis and did send my referral in.
Yeah.
But once I got to the cannabis clinic, that was a whole different story. With the licensed producers, it's like they aren't allowed to advertise. So how do you know about the products?
Yeah.
You know,
and how do you know like who whose practices you like approve of, like
exactly,
or who's representing the organization and what they stand for,
exactly,
their procedures for treating and
like
things like
growing.
Yeah.
And that's really important to me as a patient, is knowing where my cannabis comes from and the process. And like that's why right now my focus is a lot on customer service, because I can't have access to those, like, that information. And I find that if LPs have a really like good relationship with their patients, then it's much better, because I can discuss, like, I can actually talk to a person in like 2 minutes.
for sure.
Yeah. So
Thank you so much for sharing everything. That wraps up our general questions.
Oh my God, yay.
Yeah, we got through it.
Ooh, hallelujah.
Thank you so much, Vee, for joining us. It's been awesome having you. All right, bye guys. See you next week.